Welcome back, everyone, to episode 9 and what will likely be the final episode of my Medal of Honor long play. In the previous episode, we managed to clear out the demolition squads as well as the already set charges in the salt mines in Alt-Aussee, Austria, where they were hiding a bunch of artwork for use in the Fuhrer's super museum that he was going to build at one point in Austria somewhere. Obviously that didn't take place, but there is historical precedence for the design of that museum that was actually planned. And then we began the final mission of the entire game, where we are sent to a V2 assembly plant where we're supposed to be destroying any and all of the already constructed V2 rockets that we can find, as well as gather any intel that we can, because, well, the allies as well as, I guess they are all allies. The US and Russia both had an interest in the rocket technology that the Germans had developed. So we were in a rush to try to get as much of that information as we could before the Soviets came in and did the same thing, basically. So we have 2 more legs to this mission. I thought there were actually 4 or 5, but it turns out there are only 3 legs to this particular mission. So we should be able to get them both done today, and then we'll go ahead and do the final review for it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Vengeance production. The Waffen SS are the toughest soldiers in the German war machine, and you're about to go up against the best of them. Now that you've made it into the main production area of Nordhausen, it's time to put our theories about the V2 to the test. As you know, we think the rockets are controlled by a navigational gyroscope that's programmed with a target's coordinates before launch. Procure a copy of the V2 schematics and analyze them. They should prove us right or wrong about the gyro control. If our assumptions are correct, you'll need to calculate a new course and then recalibrate the gyro accordingly. It's time to tap back into all that aeronautical engineering education of yours, Lieutenant. Your objective? Bring the rocket down on top of the facility. Again, his French is atrocious, but our friend Dr. Gronek seems to indicate they've developed an experimental warhead for the rocket that yields almost 3 times the damage at the same payload weight. If this is true, most everything in the facility will be destroyed by the impact. So, in addition to the actual V2 schematics, be sure to locate a copy of the Nordhausen scientist roster. The boys back at OSRD will be very curious to see it. Yeah, it wasn't just schematics or information about the rocket designs that the Allies were interested in. They wanted the scientists. That is very much something that's based in reality. There we go. All right. Uh-oh. Why is the controller suddenly not working? Let me unplug this for a sec. There we go. All right. Better. I was already going to have a problem, and I just got it started. I did record a couple of episodes about a month or 2 ago, so I'm a little bit rusty. It's because I don't do these all at once. Usually I take a little break between recording sessions. Oh, God damn it! Oh, geez, we're off to a terrible start. Not restarting. We're just going to play it as it lies. It's early enough that if I did a terrible job, we can just restart. Alright. How do I crouch again? Let's put that back on. There we go. And now I'm here. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. Anyone else? Oh, God. That could have hurt. I keep doing that every time. God. We are going to talk about that in the review. I just don't love the button assignments. I don't think they're intuitive at all. All right, we got to do this. Really? There we go. Like, it's L1 to crouch. That does not make sense. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Whoa! Yikes! Come get it. Oh, God, there's 3 of them. Anyone else? I know you're there. Come on out. I'll give you a kiss. I'm not going to go to that. You just killed yourself, didn't you? You doofus. God, they're all dumb. But something... I mean, I don't think it's any surprise at this point. I usually write the final review for the game before I start the last episode, and if there's anything else I want to say that occurred to me during the final episode, I sprinkle it in. But one of the things that I did mention is the grenade throwing aspect of the game and how it just doesn't work right. Yes, you all know I'm here. Now come up here and let's have a conversation like adults. This is not the right weapon for this, but we're going to use it. Come on. What? Aw, you bastard. Let's use this. Okay, wait. Wait. Now go. Hello? Give me a kiss. There we go. Give me all the ammo in the world for this gun, I might as well start using it. It is the best gun in the game. Alright, so what do we got going on down here? Nothing there, nothing there. Odd place for them to put a bunch of vases, or I guess some kind of interpretive German architecture. This is a factory, isn't it? Wait a minute. Did I see something back there we want to check right here? Health? Health. Aha! Definitely need that. I'm starting to get rocked. This is going to be probably one of those times where I actually do need to save scum if I'm going to make it through this episode in a reasonable amount of time, because, of course, things are going to start getting real tough here at the end. Come on, get it, boys. Uh-oh, don't do that. See ya! Oh, God. Didn't really mean to do that. I just was trying to reload the gun. But again, the button assignments just don't work. They do not work. Come on, now. Come on. See ya. Oh, no, 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 no. Reload. No, not shoot the gun. Reload it. Take a little health. Take a little more health. I'll take a lot more health. Very good. Not doing terrible. Except for that first embarrassing area of the game. Yep, we talk about that as well. The janky physics or the texture popping that happens in this game. It's mainly on walls. You don't see that happening a ton with, like, just human beings! And this is the part of the game where I sing! Alright, we got the scientist roster. That was one of the things. We need the schematics, and then we need to get in the lab and sabotage something before we leave, basically. And the find the launch area is probably just going to be the, hey, find the exit step of the game. Come on. Yeah, I knew it. I heard something drop and I was like, he just dropped a grenade at his feet. You doofus. That's one of those, like, he just made a mistake and he doesn't want to admit it, but he's too proud to give away that he screwed up, so he's just going to stand there and take the explosion. Could also be that the game actually thinks that's something they can shoot through, which apparently they can. You keep doing that, dude. I swear to God. All right. I didn't want to do this, but you forced my hand. I have tons of these. Why not? Anyone else? I love the music's suddenly gotten very playful. In a game that has decided bombast is how it wants to go with the music, now it decides, oh, let's do something a little cute and impish. Alright, guys, someone's back here shooting at a wall. Let's go make them shoot at something that they can actually hit. There you go, dummy. Nothing back that way. Nothing out. Something to shoot. I don't want that blowing up in my face. Yeah, we need it. No, you don't. Popped out to say, he's Jimmy Patterson! And then I shot him in the face. Instead of getting that out, all you heard was as he was choking on brain matter, bone, and blood. Sit down. I knew it! I was like, he's gonna come from the left. Sit down. Oh, I killed him so hard his body just went stiff. He got mid-death rigor mortis and just collapsed like a wooden board. Doing. Where? Where is he? No, you don't! No, you don't! Thank you. 9! Oh, look at this. A whole room full of canteens. That's their canteen storage. They don't really have any room in the lockers, so they just throw them on the ground. It turns out they had a production facility mistake where they made way too many canteens. Now they just throw them away. They drink once and throw the rest out. And thus, soda cans were born. Fritz, what is this mistake? We told you to make 1 million canteens. Yeah, well, sorry, I did. No, you made 100 million. What are we going to do with them? I'm doing the worst German ever. I think this is one of the things I gotta... No, maybe not. Whoa, I heard it. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, no, you don't. He said, oh, no, you don't. Why am I not hitting him with anything? That's why I don't like hip fire in this game. You gotta aim. You have to aim. It slows everything down, but this... the guns just aren't accurate if you're trying to hip fire. Now, that makes logical sense. But at the same time, you can usually do it in first-person shooters with some success. You really can't here. Alright, moving on. This guy, like, I know I heard something 15 feet away, but I've got a lot of staring at the wall to do here today. You deserved that, dude. You really did. Oh my god, these guys are dumb. Ah, gotcha. That was a delayed reaction. I put the bullet through his brain, and it took it a couple seconds to register. Or he has no brain. I see schematics. And a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Turns out he just died. He did not do the Fandango. Guessing I gotta go up. So do I get to destroy any of these fun toys? No? Damn. Just go inside a lab. Was there health back this way? Another question that I've never asked during the game, and I'm wondering now. Is there a run? I don't think there is. No, there's a center your aim. And no. Never tried it. Didn't really think I needed to do it, but now I'm genuinely kind of annoyed that there isn't one. Health here, right? Yep. Yep, better than nothing. I think everything beyond that I had already picked up at some point, so just have to make do with what we got. No handgun. Thank God they finally decided to get rid of the stupid handgun I'm never going to use. This isn't like, well, I guess Call of Duty really did make this a thing, right? There is no primary weapon but quick switch to your handgun to get a couple extra shots off if you need to. Seriously, cue up the yakety sax. He's such a doofus. All right, we're going to wait until he gets right here and sit down, doofus. Whee! Sure, that's probably the path. But we want this. Yes. Yes, health. Delicious hard water because they didn't really have a good way to clean all the minerals out of their water. Oh, this seems like a trap. Nothing? Up. Hello. Yep, keep staring at the where, doofus. The wall, whatever it is. No, don't shoot at the ground. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Nothing? Nothing. This guy's post was to stand in this very small room with nothing in it and just stare at the wall. He was one of the famous dumb soldiers that we've talked about in the past. This is one of those things where maybe they should have rethought the designs of some of these rooms if there was literally nothing going on in one of them. Is this something? Besides a thing I can glitch into? Seriously? Alright, whatever. Thought I was hitting the action button. There it goes. Okay. Thank you for the gun. Aha! I damaged their gyro. Ah, you bastard! God, even they're starting to do the side-to-side cha-cha. Oh, damn, there was a canteen right here! Oh, look at this! Oh, he went stiff! Oh, lots of health back here. Alright, well, that's about 30% if we need it. Oh, no, you don't! Oh, yes, you do! I was kidding! Come on. Definitely not that gun. There we go. Alright, they're definitely giving you ammo in high quantities. So you're not struggling to keep up ammo-wise in this last level. I appreciate that. I'm also making better use of the different weapons that I'm getting, so that's probably helping to an extent. Anyone? Oh, God. I love that the soldiers and the scientists are both coming after me. It's not just one or the other. See ya. Let's go get that last canteen. Damn it. Really trading a ton of health in this level. I mean, it makes sense. It's the end of the game. Why wouldn't you? But... oh, very nice. Leave it there. I've played a video game or two. This is a fake wall. Or not. I mean, it looks like it, right? It totally stands out from the other walls, so you're like, that's gotta be fake. See, it's not even the same design there. What is this? They're trying to trick me. That's the true exit of the game. Go ahead and kill this guy by shooting the thing. Sorry, dude. Just not your day. Oh, God. It's not his day. Or his friend's day. Come on. Maybe I got him. Oh, damn. They put a bunch of exploding things everywhere in this level. Really should be using my grenades more, I guess. Oh, that was ballsy. Just ran right out. I heard a grenade. Yep. And thank you for killing yourself, doofus. Every time I hear that audio that they're playing on the overhead where it sounds like it's just kind of like a sound of thinking, Darth Vader? Where? I think that was it. We finished the level. Now, if we want some bonus points, which you don't get bonus points in this game, let's go get that health kit. We're about to leave anyway. Yoink. Yee. Trying to turn all subtle, and the analog in this game is not great. I mean, it does have some ramping of speed when you turn, but it's just not smooth. Like, what you can push the stick over, like, I'd say, I don't know, 2-3 millimeters, nothing happens. You gotta get up, like, halfway over with thumbstick to get it to move. There we go. End of level. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not done.
This rare color footage captured by the Allies shows the early days of the German V-2 rocket program. Capable of hitting targets as far
Are we done?
as London, these so-called vengeance weapons were of great interest to the High Command. One can only imagine the devastation if the Nazis had succeeded with their heavy water research and perfected an atomic warhead. Just as the Me-163 had ushered in the jet fighter, the V-2 heralded the beginning of the missile age, the implications of which would carry through to all the generations of mankind to follow.
And it was all Germany's fault. Thanks, Germany. Yeah, we're not done yet. That's weird. They haven't done that at this point in the game. Every other mission that we've done, you get a video at the very beginning of the mission and at the end of the very last leg of that mission. So this is unusual. Yeah, see, there's another mission, right? Oh, we're not going to bother with saving. I'll save like this. It's stupid. The game keeps forgetting that I'm saving while we're playing it. Götterdämmerung. In the pandemonium of your assault, the Germans hastily loaded the sabotaged gyroscope into the rocket for an immediate launch. Dr. Gronek knows what you're up to, so he's quietly made an exit, along with someone named Werner von Braun. Ooh, big surprise. Before he departed, Gronek did you a big favor. He cut the communications cable between Nordhausen's command center and the launch gantry. Goes without saying, but the gantry will be heavily defended. Gotta make it down there, Patterson. It's the only place to manually launch the rocket. You'll find a set of auxiliary controls inside the blockhouse. Begin the launch sequence from there. With the communications cut, there will be no way for the command center to stop it. If you were successful in sabotaging the gyro, the V2 should go into gimbal lock just seconds after launch. How does she know what that is? Stay inside the blockhouse. It's been reinforced to survive explosions of this magnitude. When the rocket comes crashing down on top of you, it will be the only safe place in all of Nordhausen. Bonne chance, my dear friend. Good luck. Not the only thing in French I know how to say just by looking at it. Here we go. Final leg. Hey, boys. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, that was clean. Field surgeon kit this early? Were they expecting me to exchange gunfire with them and die? All right, what are my missions? Launch the missile. That's it. Just launch the missile. Oh, God! Where's it coming from? I'm dead. I entered a warp zone. Game doesn't want to come any further. Sit down. Oh, you prick! He shot me on the way down. Health. Both of you deserve that. Oh, this is wide open. Not a safe place. Aha! Ah! Action it! Action it! Oh, I got shot. That's all right. Game just starts over. Oh God, I broke my my ammo counter. All right, get to that goddamn machine gun nest, quick. What the hell? Anyone else? To the left. Up! Where's the music? Fine. Oh, I gotta play defensively here, or I'm just gonna get rocked. So we'll just play keep away. Oh, come on! Seriously? Screw you, you piece of garbage. A headshot, he gets to just survive it and let it plink off his helmet. Wow! He ran past me! This was a bad idea. I love it. I love it. The game doesn't expect you to turn around and hide in the corner. Yeah, the game's definitely flaking out here at the end. Like, audio's dropping, there's visual glitches. It's probably a problem with the disc. I did install it on my Polymega, so it's not running off the disc, but I did have a used copy of the game, so it's entirely possible the last chapter has some bugs. Not necessarily bugs in the game, just bugs in what it pulled off the disc. Thank you. Yeah. Audio dropping everywhere. Weird. If for some reason the game just totally crashes out and I cannot finish it, it's all right. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it and do the final score of the game. I'm not gonna fuss over that. That guy was sweeping with that rocket launcher like it was a goddamn weed whacker. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? We're gonna save. We're gonna get on the machine gun and see if I can kill anyone else who might show up. Left. Right? Oh, God, I saw him, too. I was like, wait, that guy back there. I see you. No, you don't. Damn it. He's out of range. Come right in range. No, you're not doing it. Oh. Sit down. Oh, thank God for all that health. What is this? Have we hit an infinite spawn? Yeah, we might have. That might be what's happened here, is we've actually hit a point where the game's just going to infinitely respawn enemies. Ton of health. They had to know this was what was going to happen here. Look at this. All right, well, gotta move. I can't even pick up the ammo. All right, well, save. Disappointing that the game's gonna crash out like that at the end here. I think I know what I need to do with these. He said, expecting boxes to explode as he shot. Guess we could technically be using my grenades as well. All right, I imagine this is our point of no return, and that may be the final objective down there, is that rocket. I heard that. I also am stuck. Uh-oh. Did I just save right there? No, I didn't. All right, good. We can get past it. That would suck. I mean, I did save a couple minutes. Good job, idiots. You got what you deserved. I love it. I love when the enemy eats it for their own stupidity. All right, that's the gantry, right? Or the safe room. Just double check. No, it's not. It's just a room. No. We're down. Stay down here. Yeah, it's a shame. They're not going to play the audio. We're just going to hear, like, dead silence the rest of the game. Oh, well. Well, that's not a sign of problems we're going to have in other games that we're going to look at on my Polymega for the PS1 at least. All right, this is it. I think this is the end of the game. There we go. Boy, I really wish they had subtitles in this game so you could see what they're saying. It turns out they're not arguing or yelling at each other. That's just how they normally sound. All right, so where does it turn around and just fall right back down? Oh, look at these. And here it comes. All right. I think that's it. He said something about me, but I didn't catch what he said. And there's no exit, so it just ends right there. All right, we did it. No one can guarantee success in war, but only deserve it. We won because of me.
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
Oopsie! A bang. Oh, come on. I mean, I'm sure what that is there were soldiers I was supposed to kill that I just skipped past. I'm not worried about it. Whatever. We weren't going to actually sit there for 5 hours and wait for every single soldier that wanted to come out to get shot, to march out in front of me. We did what we needed to do. We finished the game. I thought there was going to be another video, but I guess not. Disappointing. You would have thought Hargrove would have had some last final thank you message for the game to play when you finish the game, but maybe you only get it if you get all of the stars for every single mission in the game. All right, well, it was kind of a soggy fart for the finish there, for lack of a better way to describe what just happened, but yeah, ultimately that was it. That was the end of the game. Let's see our final medal, which I did not think to check for. And let's see what we earned. Oh, look at this. We got a nice display case. We didn't get that before. All right, so we got medals for the first one. Oh, and they didn't even tell you what they are here. Cool. American Campaign, Legion of Merit. Oh, I guess I got a left or right. Norwegian War Cross, Soldier's Medal, and then finally the Silver Star. So we got a Silver Star for the end of the game. They didn't give us one for mission 7 because I'm sure I was supposed to kill more people in that final leg, but whatever. We did what we were supposed to do. Let's go ahead and... Performance? I don't know what that is. Oh, I'll tell you what your total thing was. All right, so how many headshots did I get? I shot a lot of people in the right arm. The second was headshot, so I was fairly accurate in that regard. I was trying to kill people by shooting them in the head. So anyway, that is Medal of Honor. So let's go ahead and do the review phase. If I go back to the main menu, I think they start playing those demo cutscenes, and they're going to be very loud, so I'll just leave it on this screen here for the wrap-up. Let's go ahead and do a round of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the game offers customizable controls that actually take advantage of the DualShock thumbsticks, which was a rarity for PS1 games, as odd as that is to say. Again, the PlayStation 1 came out with just a D-pad as the standard controls, so it was actually fairly new, about mid-generation, when games started having the ability to use thumbsticks for controls. At this point in console-based first-person shooter games, developers were still fiddling with different control schemes to figure out what felt natural and easy to use. Thankfully, there were plenty of available schemes in this game, enough that I found one that was 90% where I wanted it to be. We'll go into the problem that I had with the controls as far as button assignments in the bad. The hit detection and aim assist is extremely generous, which was practically a necessity in the early days of first-person shooter games on console. Aiming with the thumbsticks is better than using the D-pad, but it still leaves something to be desired as there was no aim magnetism. Usually it was you aimed within a foot or so of the soldier and the gun would just kind of point at them for you. You didn't actually do any of that. I like that there's objectives in each step of your missions, and they aren't too difficult to complete. Find the crew manifest. Oh, it's the extremely obvious white clipboard hanging on the wall 5 feet away from your starting point. Done. Destroy the C door controls. It's the one side path with no extra spokes that you'll find in just a few steps from the main path. Check. Kill all the officers. Easy enough. I needed to kill 95% of the enemy soldiers in every level to get a 3-star ranking, so I was going to do that anyway. The objectives do what they're meant to do. They encourage the player to explore a level a little bit instead of just cutting a path of destruction from level to level. You're supposed to be a mix of spy and soldier, not just a super soldier, so having something to do besides kill everything is a good idea. That you happen to also gun down hundreds of Nazis during the game is just a perk of the job. The weapons all looked and sounded very realistic compared to their real-world counterparts, and most of them have a satisfying pop, with the exception of the M1 Garand, which actually felt very weak. My favorite weapons during the playthrough looked and felt appropriately deadly, those being the Winchester M97 shotgun and the Browning automatic rifle. Aesthetics matter. Kudos to the development team for getting them mostly right. I do have one big bad that we're going to mention as far as weapons in a couple of seconds here. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's bold and it's brassy where it needs to be, and it felt very era appropriate. Did it match every second of action, even the quiet moments? No, but I don't think it needed to. Medal of Honor was about the adventurous high of clandestine World War II operations, not the sobering reality of warfare. There are plenty of games that go for that mood. This wasn't one of them. I appreciate that some of the OSS operations that we were conducting had a basis in real World War II history. In particular, the raid on the Ryukan hydroelectric plant and the recovery of looted artwork and artifacts of historical significance from Austria, the salt mines. Those events actually happened, albeit not how the game portrays them. It was other soldiers that were involved in those. In the case of the hydroelectric plant, it was actually Norwegian commandos who were working with the Allies. In the case of the Austrian salt mines that had artwork in it, it was a group of soldiers that were called the Monuments Men, essentially, that were involved in finding and recovering that artwork. As far as the bad, in their effort to pursue an atmosphere of historical accuracy, I feel like the devs forgot to include some spectacle in the gameplay. There's no tense standoffs, no countdowns to explosions, with the exception being that very last sequence at the end of the game where you're literally standing in a bunker and all the action's just kind of happening around you with no involvement. There's no dramatic escapes from collapsing buildings or crashing tanks or planes or subs. Just a standard set of missions to complete at your own pace with the same gameplay throughout. I'm not saying that every second of gameplay needs to feel like a roller coaster, but the occasional cinematic flair would have spiced up the experience tremendously, and its absence is conspicuous in this game. There is an aggressive amount of environmental snagging throughout the game. We just saw it at the very end of the game in the last level. I got stuck in the environment, steps away from the very last segment of the game where you go down onto the V2 launch pad, basically. And there was a spot in the rocks that I got caught. I couldn't jump. I couldn't move. I had to start over if I was just playing the game like on a regular PS1. The fact that I had a quick save just a couple steps away that allowed me to get around it was a blessing. But the reality is, if you were playing the game just when it originally came out on the PS1, you'd be pissed. You get through that entire, attack sequence where you try to get to the launch pad, barely hanging on by the skin of your teeth, and you get stuck on a rock. That would have killed me if that had happened. I have a feeling it did at some point. I don't remember it specifically happening. Going through standard doors is a mess in this game. And even some random walkways and open ground, like what I was talking about earlier, had snags. Not only was it immersion breaking, but in a few instances it inhibited movement during exchanges of gunfire, which is never something that should happen in a first-person shooter, ever. The button layouts were not optimal, which caused me no end of confusion alternating between weapons or trying to go prone. It never felt natural throughout my time playing the game. That should be instructive for a development team, whether or not you got the button assignments correct. If anyone on that team did not at any point get confused about what button was supposed to do what thing, I would be astonished. I kept coming back to the game and forgetting, after multiple hours, what the buttons were supposed to be assigned to. We had at this point, well, not at this point, but 20 years later, all have a very standardized idea of what button assignments work for first-person shooters. And this game does feel like they're still experimenting. And unfortunately, it costs the game in points for that reason. The game does not reward stealth. It rewards mass murder, which as a spy is a very strange idea. First of all, the only way to get the maximum score in any level, even stealth missions, is to kill 95% of the enemy. That defeats the purpose of practicing stealth, because killing a soldier in sight or earshot of another soldier would trigger an alert. And specifically in those stealth-based levels, they intentionally put multiple soldiers near each other so that if you try to kill one, the other one's going to respond. Second, the enemy is almost supernaturally aware of my presence whenever you're around them in stealth missions, making the undercover missions more about positioning myself before switching to my weapon than actual sightlines or noise mitigation. So you need to be behind a soldier and make sure there's no one around, pull your gun and shoot their head quickly, because the second you unholster it, I guess they can hear that, they're alerted. I hated that. I don't think they did a great job with stealth in this game. And in fact, I think that's part of the reason why they even planned the sequel to be as stealth heavy as it turned out to be. If I'm not mistaken, Medal of Honor Underground, it goes way further with the stealth aspects of the game than this one did. And I think it's because they realized at some point they did not do the stealth missions good service in this game. And they wanted to try to fix what they did wrong. The sniper rifle is hilariously underpowered. Even this early in first-person shooters, developers had come to the conclusion that a torso or headshot with a bolt-action weapon, which requires you to rechamber around after every shot, should be a one-hit kill. Needing 3 or 4 shots to put someone down with your Springfield in this game is laughable, and it made it feel like a lesser alternative in most missions when I had it available. The need to hunt down health packs when low on health slows the game down. There's a reason Infinity Ward pursued regenerating health for Call of Duty, And yes, I know they didn't invent that. Halo was probably the first game that really made substantial use of a regenerating health system where you just take a beat and then your health comes back. But Call of Duty is falling directly in the footsteps of Medal of Honor, so that's why I draw the comparison there. But the focus in games like this should be on the action, not scrounging for resources like health or ammo while you're playing the game. The game does not employ an aim down the sights aim system. It instead uses, let's try that again. It instead uses a moving reticle, that little red crosshair that you would see on the screen sometimes. And while it is serviceable, it locks the screen in place, preventing you from aiming at enemies that step off screen or behind you. Not to mention, the precision of the reticle is okay at best, since the thumbstick sensitivity was not great in this game. I could not for the life of me figure out how to cook a grenade, which is standard in first-person shooter games these days. It rendered using them at all a waste of time because the enemy always had enough time to respond to the grenade before it could hurt them. Your only hope, and this is not how grenades actually work, was to hit the enemy directly with the grenade, causing it to explode on contact. Given how short Patterson throws grenades, that's just an easy way to force a mission restart. They were completely mishandled. This game did not get grenades right. It was a liability to use them. Really, their only use to me was to scare an enemy away or blow up boxes. They were pretty much useless. And I didn't even put this in my notes, but why is it considered a main weapon? Like, you have to manually pull up grenades. It's not just something that you can tap another button on the controller to throw. You have to arm that weapon like you would a handgun or a shotgun or machine gun. That's a terrible idea. As far as the ugly, the game has PS1 graphics, so it comes with PS1 graphics issues. There are pixelated textures that pop in and out everywhere, extremely low resolution grass and fence textures, and low poly count objects like those immobile tanks that we saw in the very first mission of the game. They looked terrible. The face models in particular are just kind of a mess of pixels. I am still convinced to this day that the soldiers in the hydro plant, the ones that were wearing the heavy winter gear and no helmets, all had pantyhose over their faces. That's the only explanation for why their faces were so indistinct. Also, if you include the option for players to crawl in a first-person shooter, meaning that you'll be right on top of the ground textures, maybe they shouldn't warp so much. It was very unnerving, especially when they would just disappear, because then in your mind you're like, the ground's tearing apart, I'm about to fall through the map. That should not be something that you have to worry about when you're playing a game, especially one that you can go prone in. There is a very noticeable leap in enemy difficulty from Mission 5 to Mission 6. The enemies go from carefully lining up a single shot, staying stationary or mildly shuffling a step or two to the left or right, to rapid firing at you while strafing the entire time and hitting every single shot. It didn't really bother me for this playthrough because I was using save states, so it didn't cost me any progress. But I remember having to restart levels when I first bought the game due to this difficulty spike because it got very difficult at the end of the game. The developers decided to do away with environmental fogging to disguise loading assets at the cost of tons of people and objects just kind of popping in all over the game. It's not terrible, but it does mean that some enemies that you try to shoot at a distance won't register a hit, even if the bullet is going through the space where their body would occupy if the assets for their body hadn't actually loaded yet. They needed to fix that. If their body is going to load right in one spot and you're shooting at it, that should count as a hit, whether or not I can physically see the body. The soundtrack is great, except when it doesn't match the action. There were plenty of times where the music is very boisterous, but you're taking a stealthy approach, resulting in a tonal mismatch that was jarring. Of course, the simple solution is to just stop sneaking and get moving, but maybe I don't want to. You know, if they give you a sniper rifle, I think the intent of that weapon is kill the enemy before they know you're there. It's kind of the whole point of a sniper rifle. The enemy AI tries its damnedest to respond aggressively to grenades that land near them, but more often than not, that means they pick it up, and throw it directly towards you, even if you're not in their direct line of sight. What is the result? They bounce a grenade off a wall that lands at their own feet, and it kills them instantly. The simple solution would be to just prioritize taking cover over returning the grenade from where it came. But I didn't program the AI, and this frequent blunder worked out in my favor a ton. So keep doing it, idiots. All right, let's go ahead and give the game a final score. We do our score in Randars, 1 to 10. Ultimately, this game was the first step in the right direction for first-person shooters that sought historical authenticity. And while it certainly has its issues, like the absence of spectacle, the cumbersome aim system, and the lack of punch for certain weapons, it did more right than wrong and is an enjoyable time. I'm giving Medal of Honor an 8. 8 Randars. The game keeps things grounded in reality, which is hard to grade against when you're playing a World War II shooter. Your objectives are almost all based on real missions that the Allies took part in during the war, and they don't miss an opportunity to remind you of the importance of your work. Oh, this railgun is the deadliest the Nazis have ever invented. You must blow it up. The impenetrable force that is producing super mustard gas, well, they have to get rid of that. Atomic bombs, we don't know what they are, but we can't allow the Germans to possess them. I like having some stakes, even if one man would not have had that much critical mission work placed upon them. They would have done some of this, maybe, but not all of them. I really do think, though, that they made a huge mistake not including vehicle segments. When more modern shooters put players in the seats of tanks or fighter jets or massive gun turrets, their complete absence in a World War II shooter is noticeable. I suspect they did the best they could given the deadline to complete the game, and why do developers do this at all? I can wait a few more months, finish your goddamn game. But come on, a tank level wouldn't have been impossible to include, would it? I don't think so. You wouldn't have to model much. You just have to model the thing that's over the player's, head, the camera, and then just have a much higher caliber explosion whenever you shoot the gun. Whatever. That said, the gameplay is very straightforward, and it controls extremely well considering that modern conveniences for first-person shooter games on a controller were still a ways off. We live in a time where there's no question if a person can be accurate using a controller to play Call of Duty or Fortnite or Destiny. To go back to a game like Medal of Honor and experience shooting with nowhere near the level of precision is humbling, because you have to accept that the game is going to do some of that work for you. We've seen that recently. I just did some video for Turok last week. Same thing. You can kind of aim in the general direction of the enemy, but you're probably going to have a hard time hitting the target unless the game aims a little bit for you. And it did. This game does that as well. It would be easy to give the game a lower score for doing this kind of thing, but I never felt that the lack of accuracy using the thumbsticks cost me during the experience. And that means a lot. They knew the issues and they found meaningful workarounds like the aim assist option, which, by the way, you can turn it off if you want to try the game, without the assistance yourself. That's good design because it lets people who think it's easy mode try to do it on their own and find out just how hard it is to hit a target on these early first-person shooters. Yeah, I think they did a really good job with this. If it was so ungainly or cumbersome or just inaccurate that going back to it today, I wouldn't be able to hit a goddamn thing to save my life, I would have been pissed and it would have gotten a low score. I think those little touches that help keep the experience fun and kinetic and not bogged down with player precision issues means that this is a game that you could go back to today and enjoy it, provided you go in with the mindset that I'm not going to be a god on the thumbsticks. I'm probably going to be very humbled and have to deal with the fact that the game's just going to help me out, but it's still going to feel like I'm doing my best and getting rewarded for it. So yeah, 8 Randars. I think this is a very good game. Obviously, future games, not only in the Medal of Honor franchise, but in historically based first-person shooters in general, will iron out the issues that this game had. But the success of Medal of Honor is why Call of Duty even exists. Medal of Honor crawled so that Call of Duty could sprint. Never mind its current reliance on hip-hop artists and stoner icons to draw in microtransaction revenue. If you aren't about that multiplayer life, the single-player games only get more polished with each new campaign. And all of that is thanks to what Medal of Honor helped lay out. So this is an important game, and thankfully it's a fun one to go back to. 8 Randars. I think it's a great game, not perfect. And yeah, you wouldn't have a bad time going back to this one. All right, that's going to do it for our long play of Medal of Honor. Just a couple of quick notes about stuff that's going on the channel going forward. We are going to take a couple of weeks off from long play episodes while I get ready for the next big one that's coming out in late August for the 4th anniversary of Nub's Collection. That series, once it gets started, it's going to have one big 6-hour episode that's going to come out on Friday, which I think is right around when the anniversary happens. And then every week after that first episode, it's going to be 2 episodes. It's going to be 1 episode on Monday and 1 episode on Wednesday. So that long play is going to co-opt the Nubs RPG Wednesday episodes. Gives me a little bit of a break to catch my breath because a lot of heavy editing work goes into the Monday long play episodes and the Friday Nubs Collection Rental Regrets episodes. So it's nice to take a step back from doing 3 a week where I'm putting in tons of work to get it done. This long play is going to be a lot more closely associated to what we do with like Nubs RPG Wednesday, where most of my focus is on voice work and cleaning up just some curse words and stuff. Not so much on the goofy gimmicks and jokes that I like to throw into the long plays or the Nubs Collection and Rental Regrets episodes. Nubs RPG Wednesday isn't going away. It will come back once we finish this long play. I've got, probably 100 RPGs that we can rifle through at some point, whether as complete playthroughs or just extended looks where we do a couple episodes. And then I obviously have tons of games that we can look at as long plays, but I think the next one is really good, and it is an important game to look at because of how revered it is, but also what impact it had on the video game industry as a conceptually genius game. It is a masterpiece. So hopefully it's one that people are going to be looking forward to. Don't want to tell you what it is now, but it's coming up in about a month here, so everyone will get a chance to take a look at it. I had something else I was going to say. We might try to sneak in a long play. Or not a long play, but a complete playthrough in the next couple of weeks, depending on what my timeline is. I'm thinking we might try to do another complete playthrough of a Mega Man game. I haven't decided which one yet. Still trying to iron that out, but there's a good chance if I can get it done in a couple of hours. It'll be one of those ones where it's just straight playthrough, not a lot of goofiness, so that we can get that one banged out. Might be the first one. We haven't actually looked at the first Mega Man game. Truth is, I never rented it when it came out. The first Mega Man game I ever played was the second one. I didn't play the original until the Anniversary Collection came out on PlayStation 2. Because I have the disc that came out on PS2 for the first 6 Mega Man games, plus a couple of Super Nintendo ones that I think were all on there. But yeah, we'll take another look at a Mega Man probably sometime in the next few weeks if I can get it done. And then at late August is when we'll get the next long play started. And then after the big 6-hour episode, Nubs Collection and Rental Regrets will continue during the long play as they normally do, alternating weeks going forward. So that's just an update on what's going to be happening in the next few weeks here after the end of this long play. And then I have a few more episodes of the Shining Force playthrough to finish up, and then that one will be finished as well. All right, that's going to do it for our long play of Medal of Honor. As always, I do appreciate each of you watching, and I will see you next time.